Hey there, gorgeous! Hope you're having a great day. In today's video, I wanted to talk about how to cover minor imperfections with makeup and some really cute little tips and tricks that you can use and keep in your back pocket in the instance that you ever need to use any of these in the future. So today we're talking about acne, age spots, scars, cold sores. If chances are, if you want to cover it, I got a solution for you. Very special thank you, by the way, to Quantum Health for sponsoring today's video, and that leads me into the very first thing that I want to talk about, and that is cold sores. I suffer with these little boogers all the time, and in the past, before I discovered the products I'm getting ready to share with you here, I would just not film. There were times when you just wouldn't see me because I had a big cold sore and I had to wait for it to heal, and I was like, I am not gonna go on camera with a big thing on my lip. But I found a product that makes it easy now to conceal it, and you can't even tell that I've got something going on. It's just no way of knowing. I'm actually wearing it right now, and this is a cold sore bandage. This is the coolest thing ever. Now, I've tried these in the past and they didn't really work that well. They slid around the lips, they didn't sit still, but this is one of the first that I've ever used that actually will not budge, will not move. You can apply makeup over the top of it. You cannot tell there is anything there. I mean, obviously if you got right in my face, you could tell, but I mean, as you're looking at me right now, you can't tell. You can't tell. Based on my own personal experience with having used these bandages though, I do find that a darker lip color helps to conceal them better as opposed to a lighter lip color. So if you do try these out, keep that in mind. The formula can have a little bit of a difference too when it comes to the lipstick. Like I'm wearing a matte formula right now and I really can't tell because it's more of like a creamy matte. You probably would want to stay away from a drying matte formula and stick with either a creamy matte lipstick or something that has a little bit more shine factor to it in order to help conceal the bandage further. But I mean, the results are absolutely amazing. And by the way, I also wanted to mention that this company makes a Lysine cold sore treatment that is herbal based. So if you want to also treat the cold sore while you're waiting on it to heal, this is a great topical treatment for doing just that. Not a lot of nasty chemicals in it. It says it will cut the healing time in half. I am looking forward to trying that the next time that I get a cold sore. So I wanted to bring these to your attention because I've been looking for a bandage that actually does work and does stay on, and this is an excellent one for you to try. And if you're interested in it, I will have it listed and linked for you below in the description box. When it comes to acne, there are a number of different ways that you can conceal it and help to eliminate the overbearing appearance that it has on your face in times of flare-up, because it's, I mean, come on, it is a confidence killer, it really is. Now, if you really study your acne, there are two different colors that you usually can find in acne, and that's either red or purple, and you want to take a color corrector and first counteract whatever color you're seeing in your skin. So if you're seeing a lot of redness, you want to use a green color corrector, and if you're seeing purple, then you want to use a yellow color corrector. And I will have a more detailed explanation on color correction in the description box in the event that you want to read more about it and get more information on it. Everything will be listed there for you below. So the very first thing that I always do is apply the color corrector over the top of the acne. And by the way, you don't want to put makeup on acne that is open or oozing or anything like that. You want to make sure that the acne is like on its way to healing before you put makeup over the top of it, because it can slow down the healing process. My favorite green color corrector is the one from Graftobian. This is the one in muted green. It's a cream-based color corrector. It's great on the skin. It doesn't peek through foundation. It does conceal redness almost instantaneously, and it's an all-around great, inexpensive product. And I usually will just tap it over my skin with my finger, blend it in. It blends really easily. You can also use a fluffy brush for this method of application. And then after that, you want to go with a concealer shade that is a half a shade darker to almost a full shade darker than what you would traditionally use for concealer under your eyes. You don't want to use the same concealer that you use under your eyes to apply over the top of acne, because hello, you're gonna be putting a spotlight on it, and we really don't want that. I usually will use my fingers to blend it in, but you can also use a damp beauty blending sponge, and that will help to melt the makeup into the skin and eliminate the harshness that acne can sometimes be. I also want to add that when you are applying foundation over the top of the concealer, you want to apply it in light, thin layers. So you can always layer the product, but it's usually best not to apply a lot of layers over the top of acne, because then it can look cakey and it can actually emphasize it more. So very light layers of foundation over the top, sometimes a tinted moisturizer is the best way to go so that it doesn't create too much product buildup there. And then after applying your tinted moisturizer, foundation, whatever you're using, you want to let it sit on the skin for a few minutes before applying powder, if you do want to apply powder. And the best way to apply powder would be to take a damp beauty blending sponge, dip it into your translucent powder, and then pat it over the top. Using a damp sponge with translucent powder melts the makeup into your skin. It helps to eliminate that cakey factor and give you a more flawless application that does minimize the appearance of the acne. Now, if you struggle with having too much of a certain color in your skin, let's say you have too much redness in your face, or you feel like you have too much yellow in your face, there are ways that you can color correct that also. For redness, one of my most favorite products to use is from Dr. Jart, and that is the Tiger Grass Color Correcting Treatment. And I love this because it instantly eradicates all redness in my skin and creates a very smooth, even surface for foundation to go over the top of. And nobody can really tell that I have that redness struggle going on underneath. Now, by the same token, if you had too much yellow in your skin and you felt like you looked a little sallow, you could take a lavender-based color corrector and apply that on your skin before your foundation. And it will help to brighten things up and give you a much more bright appearance. I'm going to try to have a lot of recommendations for you in the description box below also, in the event that you are curious in any of the application methods that I am mentioning for you here today. Now, I did a whole video a long time ago on how to cover a scar, and it was after I had had surgery on my elbow and I had a special event that I was attending and I wanted to cover the scar. So I went through that whole video on how to cover the scar, and I will have that video linked for you below in the event that you would like to go watch it. But if you are looking to cover a scar, it goes back to the same color corrective theory that I had talked about earlier in the video. You want to look for what colors are in your scar and then use those colors first to help get rid of the colors. And so if you have a scar that has a lot of red in it, then you would want to use green to help minimize it. If you have a scar that has purple in it, then you'd want to use yellow. If your scar is blue, then you'd want to use orange, and so on and etc. In the event that your scar is white, which is what mine has turned into after all these years, then you can simply skip the color correcting part of the covering process and just apply concealer, foundation, etc. in the way that I'm showing you here in the video clips. And that will help to conceal it further and minimize the appearance of the scar so it's not as noticeable. I also wanted to mention, if you struggle with scars, there is a product that I came across very recently that I wanted to put out there in case someone wants to try it. It's from a brand called Dermaflage. It's a scar and wrinkle filler, and this was really fascinating. It's one that I think I want to get and try out here on the channel. But it's a topical filler made with medical grade silicone that starts as a honey-like consistency and it dries to a film that mimics skin. And I believe it was created by someone in Hollywood, a makeup artist in Hollywood, almost like a special effects kind of thing. But the results in the videos I've seen are absolutely amazing. So if you have a indented scar in your skin, or let's say you have acne marks on your face that you would like to just conceal, I think that would be a really beneficial one, something to look at, and probably one that I should talk about here in the future on the channel. I just wanted to put it out there because I thought it was absolutely amazing. And finally, if you are curious about how to hide age spots, it's a little similar to the acne tutorial that I mentioned earlier, but a different color correcting color. And you do want to pay attention to the coloration of your age spot. Usually they are brown. They can be other colors, but when they are brown, you want to use something that is pink to help minimize the brown discoloration, and then go through with a concealer, foundation, powder, and it will help to minimize and reduce the appearance of the age spot in your skin. If you have struggled with any of these issues, you are not alone. Yours truly has struggled with every single one of them, but I hope that you found this helpful today. If you have a helpful tip for covering any of the little problems that I'd mentioned today, please feel free to share your tips and tricks below as well. Thank you so much for being here, for taking the time to watch, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.